Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Player 2 Plays. My name is Matt Houston and I'm here with Scars Above. It is a fantastic little double A experience. I have played through the whole thing. I have finished it. Read my review on Player 2 right now. But if you want to see it in action, I've started a new game to show you. I've skipped the story parts because the story is one of the best parts of the game. It's really very cool sci-fi story. But anyway, we're right at the first part of gameplay and we're on a strange alien planet. And we, kind of wake up there not knowing how you got there. And that's all you need to know for this video. But this is like the perfect little 8-hour adventure. It's so very cool. I really adored this game. I enjoyed everything about it. It was a lot of fun and it was a complete surprise. I checked it out earlier at a preview event and I thought it had promise. But you know, a lot of the times you get those preview events and they show you like this little slice that is really good and really engaging, and then the rest of the game fails to kind of live up to that. Especially in this kind of double A area, you know, where it's not quite indie, but it's not got the same budget as say a big, you know, Ubisoft or EA game. So this is being released by Madhouse Games and Prime Matter, so they're kind of definitely in that double A area, and it was such a breath of fresh air. This game that knows what it's doing. How is this possible? It doesn't do any more than that. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. It doesn't try to, you know, bring amazingly complicated mechanics into it. It literally takes the basic concept of an adventure and just goes for it from there, and really just nails it. You know, gets every part of that right. Instead of doing lots of little things, does the big things right. So we're just checking it. I'm just going to show you the first, 20 minutes, half an hour of it, and it should be enough to get you in, because I can't recommend it enough. I've had so much fun with this game. I really want to sing its praises. It was the perfect sort of adventure for me right at this time.
What is going on? No.
There's little horror elements in it. There's there's some Dark Souls elements in it, but it's definitely not a Souls-born game. It's just, things like the fireplaces from Dark Souls are in this game. There are obelisks, because sci-fi. But yeah, it's definitely not a Souls game. It is much closer to just a good, solid third-person action-adventure game, really. It has some tough moments, it has some tough enemies. You need to know your equipment, so there is certainly a challenge there.
Where am I? What was that creature?
So here we go. Let's see it in action.
Scar emergency signal detected.
A Scar emergency signal. It must be someone from the team. I have to get to them. I'm not getting through these vines without something to cut them. The debris, it's from the Hermes. It must have splintered off when the ship entered the atmosphere. A Scar field backpack. Empty, but still useful. This electric cutter can cut through even the toughest materials. I better take it with me.
It does have a couple of problems. Like there's some puzzles that are a little obscure, a little
similar to
janky, I guess, to solve. They don't seem to have that aha moment. It seems more like blind luck to solve them than actually using your brains for it. So that's a little, like, that's a very minor issue, but it is certainly an issue.
Log entry. This plant
There
doesn't have
are,
any
you know,
which means
a
it
couple of
can't
times the
conduct
camera gets
photosynthesis.
kind of caught up on things and stuff like that, which is,
Must be a gate of some sorts.
you know,
There's log entry.
not an uncommon problem.
The gate has an internal
Especially in
conduction
a
system.
game
The
that
3
doesn't have a
points on the
huge
rim
budget.
seem sensitive.
Um,
A targeted
But
blast of
apart from
electricity
that,
could cause
really,
a
I
reaction.
didn't find too much to fault with it. It's a game that knows exactly what it wants to do and just nails it. There's some light RPG kind of stuff in here where you upgrade
Just a bit. We don't want
upgrade
to try the
abilities
corner.
and get
There.
new weapons and things like that. Hey, speaking of weapons,
I remember this. Mike and I were finishing our electrical experiment just after lunch. Vera, it's still intact.
all right, now we've got our first gun. So this is where the Dark Souls combat disappears. So you really don't use him out a lot. That's I forgot about that guy. Stick your head up. It uses elemental attacks really well. So,
What?
for example, electric
What the hell
attacks do
was
more
that?
damage in water. Enemies have
Log
different
entry.
weaknesses, so
Salivary
you get
glands
actually in the end 4
concentrate in the
different
head, enable the creature
elements
to discharge
to
a
play with. You've
venomous
got poison,
Muscular tissue is
ice,
highly susceptible
electricity,
to fire.
and fire. And you know, they all have their bonuses and weaknesses as combat goes on. So part of the trick is knowing what to use and when to use it and how to use it. And it's a really cool. It's a simple kind of rock scissors paper sort of dealio going on, but it's implemented so very well. Come on, buddy. Stick your head up. Alright.
Feels like I'm moving through entrails.
Get exploding. Using the environment's really important too. And then when you scan enemies and new things,
Log
you
entry.
get
Large joint-legged
knowledge.
organism. The chemicals in its
And that
abdomen
knowledge
can
is
create
used
an
to upgrade your
explosion
skills
when
and
heated
abilities.
to a certain temperature.
The cool thing is, you've learnt to use items from the world as your ammo. So there's naturally charged electric plants around, and so it's a cool story point to show how the weapons can be refilled and you can keep using them without like normal ammo. And the story was a lot of fun. Like, a really cool idea. Like it's not the greatest
Log entry.
story known to
I
me,
found a
but it's done
strange
really
alien
well,
cube.
and it's
It's
really
emitting neural
engaging.
waves.
It
This
has a
means
few
it has the
surprises and
potential to
twists
send
along the way.
information directly to the brain.
There's a lot of
Another
rather
of these
thinly
papers.
veiled, I guess,
These
stabs
cables,
at
they're from the Hermes.
humanity and how we treat the world, which is, you know, fair enough, right? So this is these things are the bonfires essentially. So if you use them, you save your game, but you also any enemies you've killed come back. So I need the fire gun. That's
Some
right.
kind of flesh-like webbing. I have to break through it.
So it doesn't take long before you get a couple of different weapons and a few different abilities to mix up.
Log entry. This is a biovessel for an indigenous creature. The shell seems highly combustible. It contains an organism that is almost fully formed. I better not touch it. This equipment, it's from the Hermes, but we were there just an hour ago. The whole place is covered with some kind of organic residue.
Commander Richard Robinson, log entry. Ever since I left the Hermes,
Ever since he left the Hermes, but maybe...
Alright.
Yes, I can print a custom emitter with the MPU, connect it with the thermic
So I'm trying to
module,
skip
and
through this
detach it
story
all
stuff
for
because I think you
weapons.
really should experience it for yourself. So we're just going on with the actual gameplay.
This might burn straight through that flesh-like webbing. And I'm taking the MPU.
So we've got new abilities. We'll here we go. Here's your upgrade path. You know, you can choose different things to upgrade. I haven't got any ability points at the moment, but you got the kind of xenobiology side and the engineering side, all added bonuses. None of them feel like, you know, they're a super cheap win ability. They just gradually improve you, which they do quite well. They don't... I'm getting rid of those before they explode. None of the abilities are, you know, suddenly turn you into a superhuman. They're just nice little upgrades and things that make combat just that little bit easier.
You again.
That. Hey, now we've got an ability. So we'll get... What do we want? Rapid reload. We'll go the easy one. Health increase. There we go. There we go. So there's lots of little kind of off the beaten path bits like that where you go and you can find new things, some upgrades and stuff like that, or you know, knowledge points.
How far would you go in the search for answers?
So it pays to explore, obviously, because, you know, video games. That's all it was, just a knowledge thing. Whee! Gotcha. What do we got in here? Oh, resistance booster. Yes. Headshot. Now, I will point out that this video, I've put it on to just the lowest difficulty setting so we can show a bit more of it. Generally, the enemies take more than one shot to kill. And there's some quite challenging battles up ahead. It took me just shy of 8 hours to finish the game on just the medium difficulty. And I felt that was the right amount of time for it, to be honest. There's another one. It was, you know, I was left wanting more. I really enjoyed the game, and I think that's a good thing, you know. There's so many games now that you play and you're just over it by the end. You kind of get that point in the game and you just want it done. You want to see the end. Whereas this game, I kind of felt super, you know, satisfied with it. So much so that I felt it could have gone on for another hour or two, quite comfortably, and I wouldn't have felt like it had gone too long. But as it was, I just enjoyed my time with it so much that I wanted more, and it left me wanting more. So hopefully, there is chance for more later on, because that would be very cool. I would be very happy.
Log entry. I have cataloged all of the medical supplies for our mission. Potent stuff. Boosters, stimulants, iron enhancers. More mission will have plenty of unknowns, but this seems like overkill. This isn't dire, I suppose.
Alright. Yeah. Okay. Hey, where'd you come from? Why won't you die? There we go. So if you don't hit the headshots, they do take you down. So it's really important to hit the weak points. And these early enemies, they're all headshots, but later on they have different weaknesses and things.
Incredible. What could the purpose of such a colossal structure be? Energy relocation?
How far would you go?
Robinson.
So now you've got these kind of
Is covered
Batman
in
style.
organic residue.
There's only a few of these in the game, but they are quite cool. They're nothing, you know,
Robinson must
that
have lost balance and grabbed
will
his
set the
dog.
world on fire. But they're a
Seemed
nice
like
little
he had
breakup.
trouble walking.
In this kind of
Carnivorous
detective
worm-like organisms secreting acidic saliva.
business
Robinson's
where you got to find out the answers and then you can
Apparently he was
recompile
heading
something
towards
that
the water.
happened.
He had issues walking, but pushed himself into the worm-infested water. The worms converged on him. They seemed to fuse with his body. What happened to you, Richard? His signal is on the other side. Somehow he got through the worms. I won't last a moment, but I must find a way across.
Alrighty.
I can see the energy points on the gate from this side.
So now this is another little soulsy sort of thing that you can do. Is unlock shortcuts back to the save points. So we go and save it, and we'll keep going. I do love the style of the game too. Like, they've used a lot of smart choices in art design to obviously cover that it's not a gigantic company making this game with unlimited resources. They've used what resources they've got incredibly wisely to make a quite stunning game at times. Honestly, it's good looking game, it really is, and it impresses me so much how well this game has done. It really does. All right, we get a good battle here, I think. From memory, yes. So this is the first kind of bigger monster that we come across. And we might leave it here. Here we go. So these ones, you got to try and hit the center. Like that. And then you switch and hit him in the head. I worked that out. Like, it took me a while to work that out, and obviously, like I said, this is not easy, so it was a bit quicker than
goes beyond typical territorial behavior.
that switching weapon. So you set him on fire and then shoot him in the head with the zap gun, and it's it's a cool little way to keep using your weapons. And as you progress, all the enemies do that sort of thing. The bigger enemies, especially, you need to mix it up. You need to switch things around so you can take them down.
Log entry. I'm detecting strong electrical energy inside the sac. If the protective membrane is hit with an electric...
Good morning, buddy.
Field Outpost Tetra. Marsh biome. Report. Mutations are at stage 3. Specimens are enveloping themselves in mineral material, creating a stone-like outer shell. Their genetic structure is stable. Alpha of the pack is growing exponentially, which is promising.
Wrong one.
Genetic code fragment harvested.
A recording of some sort.
Damn it.
It sounds like a report.
Oh, I missed him. And you can die very quickly, as you can see. Oi! I didn't think you had him in reach then. Gotcha. Cool. Got him. So yeah, knowing the enemy weaknesses are, as you can see, pretty important. It makes combat a little bit easier. Oh, there's the big boy.
What was that thing?
So angry. Alright, I'll go and get
These
this.
creatures, it looks like their secretion is freezing the water. I better stick to the frozen surface if I don't want to be eaten alive. This one is huge.
Hey,
it's
you know
producing
this.
large quantities of that freezing secretion.
So I'll show you this little bit here with and how you can use your weapons in environments and puzzles and things. And then we'll
Huh. The appendages are dripping with the fluid that's freezing the water. There's the brain. The deuterocerebrum seems to be generating an electrical charge. This gland is secreting the cryogenic fluid that's freezing the water. The cocktail of digestive acids is dissolving local plant life into homogeneous matter. The process seems to be aided by bioelectricity. And this neural pathway is conducting large amounts of bioelectricity. The creature is mixing bioelectricity with whatever it digests to generate an enzyme, and the enzyme is used to create a cryogenic fluid in the cranial gland. So if I take a sample, I might be able to replicate the process. I might be able to use this to craft some kind of cryogenic device for the MPD.
No, I got in the
It could help me to get
out of
rid
there.
of worms.
There we go.
Let's see
Now.
if this device works.
Let's see.
It's
There we go.
working.
Now we can get the worms. Hey.
This way should take me back to the monolith.
Alright, stick your head up. I knew there was There's a really, really good boss later on. It's so much fun to play, where you have to kind of use the ice and then use heat combinations to kind of, because it's invulnerable pretty much to your weapon damage, and it was a real kind of almost like a puzzle boss battle. It was super good. I really enjoyed it. All right, here we go. Let's go for the big guy. Breathe. Yes, yes, I was not. What are you? I'm getting hammered here. Oh, I've got it. Oh my god, come on, big fella. Gotcha.
That was tough.
And we might leave it there. That's a good idea of the game. Like I said, this video is set on easy, just so I could get through a bit more and show you a bit more. But playing on medium, it took me about 8 hours to finish the game. I really enjoyed it, and I really strongly recommend that you get out there and check it. It's a tight 8-hour adventure, no more than that. And that is so refreshing. It really is. I can't tell you how refreshed I was and how much I enjoyed everything. I just powered through this game, and it was so awesome. Thank you so much to Play On PR for letting us play this game early. Make sure you head over to player2.net.au, check out my review of Scars Above, and everything else we've got going on there. Like and subscribe this video down below if you've liked it. That'll be super helpful. It helps us reach through the YouTube algorithm, because we refuse to partake in crazy ass clickbait shit, really. And, you know, we just like video games. We don't want to be a part of that. And while you're at it, we do have a Patreon if you feel so inclined. But you can just enjoy this video. That's all we ask. Thank you for joining us, and I will catch you next time on Player 2 Plays. See ya.